Hey guys, my name is Trav. Hopefully you enjoyed that little intro. That was the first one that we've done, but welcome to the webinar for how to automate your marketing and sales reporting. My name's Trav, and I'm also here with Olivia. She'll be moderating the chat pane today. So if you've got any questions or anything that pops up, or something just sort of you want to ask a question about a specific topic, just feel free to pop it over in the chat pane there, and she'll answer them as well. And if we don't get around to them today, we've got your email address, so we'll definitely reach out to you as well. So today, just a bit of context. Today, I'm going to cover reporting only because for myself, we were spending a considerable amount of time doing a lot of reporting for our clients, but also for ourselves. And I just had to think that there was probably a different way or a better way to do it. So I did a whole bunch of research, and I landed on a few options. So I kind of wanted to share that with you today, and sort of give you a bit of insight into how to set it up and how to automate the reporting so that you're spending a lot less time doing it yourself. So I will share my screen. Also, if anyone can't hear me or if there's any issues with the video quality, please let me know, and yeah, I'll get that fixed up. Okay, cool. All right, so my name's Travis. I'm the head of growth here at Neighbourhood. There's a few things that we're going to cover today. The first one is the ability to run reports from over 70 data points without having to lift a finger, which is definitely something I love doing now. We want the ability, or give you the opportunity to be able to send the reports to relevant people at set times. So we can send certain reports to different people at different times. So say, for example, you've got finance department and you need to know how well the business is operating. We're able to send specific dashboards to them. Only they can see it. But if you've got a sales and marketing team too, we can definitely go ahead and send them to the relevant people. I like to think that these are beautiful dashboards, or reporting dashboards, as you will, so you can display them in your office. I'm not too sure if anyone's tuned into any of our YouTube channels about it, but in the background, you'll see a lot of our data boards in the background. Basically, we have these in the background so that we can report on all of our clients' work. If we have them visible to everybody, that means that if we walk past and see them, we're able to sort of give some feedback or some advice on it as well. The main big thing, if you are reporting, you're reporting for a reason. It's because you have goals. So basically, I'm going to show you how to set those goals. And the platform that I'm going to show you today is going to give you, uses a bit of machine learning, just to sort of have a look at the current data set, and it will send you an email or notify you on your iPhone if you're headed in a direction that is probably going to hit the goal or not going to hit the goal as well. If you're a bit of a reporting freak as well, we'll give you the opportunity to have them all on your phone so that you can sort of view them at any time, and also have the ability to style these reporting dashboards, if you will, just to make sure that they're on brand, put your logo on it, do all that sort of fun stuff as well. So that's what we're going to cover today. Again, as I sort of mentioned, if there is any questions or if there's anything else that you'd like to see today, just hit it in the chat box over there, the chat box. All right. Before I get started, we've become super organized. We're very, very organized here. In the past, we had our webinars and we would complete them and start putting together the new webinar. In this instance, we've got it ready to go. So our next webinar is with Liv on the 20th of August at 11 a.m. and it's how to use social media to drive business growth. So you'll learn the basics of social media and the various channels, features and benefits. You'll discover different types of content. You'll learn about our best practices, and find out why we post every single day of the week, and also receive a free content calendar. So you should have received, because it's backwards if I'm doing it, here. Is it there? Yeah, it's there. A CTA should pop up. You can click on that to sign up and leave your details. It's completely fine if you're unsure whether you're going to be available that day. If you can't make it, it's completely fine. I think the system automatically sends you a recording anyway. So if you're looking to sort of amp up and beef up your social media, just sort of drive a bit more traffic and leads, definitely sign up to that. It's in 28 days time. So we're getting super organized here. Well done, Liv. Cool. So while this webinar, I did sort of touch on it a little bit. I probably jumped the gun a little bit, but we have numerous amounts of clients and also our own reporting that we need to go through. It just got overwhelming for me because I know that the poor guys, the strategists here, they were spending towards the end of the month, I think it was 3 days in full, just basically reviewing data, writing reports, and it kind of got a little bit tiresome. And some of the feedback I got from the staff here was that they don't feel like they're using their time appropriately or efficiently. So I kind of really spent a lot of time. I think it was up to like 4 weeks having, go through all the different reporting and finding a way to do it better. So I did land on this, and this is a picture of our dashboards in our office. The first one that you can see is closest to mine, but that's basically the agency dashboard. It kind of covers everything from sales, marketing, organic search, YouTube, all of that stuff that's relevant to us and our goals internally. And then what we do on the other ones is we scroll through all the clients' data as well, so that we can get a good indication about how far we are from hitting those goals. So the reason for doing this is because a lot of the people that we talk to, whether they're leads or whether they're clients, it's one of them's like, how do we get those dashboards like you have it in the background? But more so as well is that we usually set these up for our clients as well. And usually when we get it set up, they're like, oh, can you report on this? Can you report on that? So I thought it'd be relevant to sort of share this with you and our experience and our journey in the reporting and automating it. And then hopefully I'll give you a whole bunch of tools and tips that you can sort of take it away. I'm going to be fairly sort of brief on today's chat with it. What I'm going to show you, there's a lot of stuff out of the box, but there is a lot of stuff that you can do really deep reporting. I thought that I'd probably just keep that away from this webinar, just not to overwhelm everybody. But if you are at the end of this, I'll reach out and have a meeting link. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about sort of calculating different platforms and then dividing them and all that sort of stuff, it is possible with what I'm going to show you. But I thought I'd sort of keep it away from this one, just not to overwhelm everybody. So a little bit about me. I started Neighborhood in 2015. As I mentioned, I personally was doing about 25 hours of reporting per month, and I hate reporting. I absolutely hate it. Now I love it. As I mentioned before, I spent about 4 weeks researching all the available reporting software platforms, and I kind of weighed them up on ease of use and pricing. And I kind of landed on what we're going to talk about today. And I've worked with various amounts of brands overseas and here in Australia as well. So I've definitely seen a lot of large companies and a lot of small companies. So hopefully I'll be able to give you a bit of value from this today. So the agenda. So what I'm going to do is I'd probably like to talk a little bit and show less presentation slides. So I'm going to dive straight into it and just sort of show you how it all works. I'm going to show you how to connect all your different data sources up as well. I'm going to show you how to set up the reporting dashboards, how to brand them. I'm going to show you how to set up your goals and then also notify relevant stakeholders within the business. Might be just yourself or it might be for other people. How to use the app itself, adding users. And also, if we do get some time, we'll talk about some calculated metrics. And at the end, what we'll do is we'll go through. One question I probably did want to ask, and the poll is up on the right-hand side, is I just kind of wanted to know how many people are spending about 4 hours or more on reporting and data review each month. It's just be good to get a bit of an idea about that. But and I can share the answers with everyone. Thanks for getting that with. Cool. So I'll dive into it and I'll tell you what we use. So we use a platform called Databox. You might have heard about it. You might have seen it pop up. You might have seen a whole bunch of other different platforms, Google Data Studio, Agency Analytics, a whole bunch of different ones out there. I looked at every single one, and this is the one that I landed on because I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful software. It's displayed in a way that, it's not, it's easy on the eyes, but at the same time, the ease of use and pricing is super good. So it's, like I mentioned twice before, it's got 70 data points. The good thing about it is if you've got sort of proprietary software, it has the ability to use APIs to pipe data from any software platform. So if you have got something with an API output, you can actually pull the data from that as well. The reason I love it, it's got a whole bunch of pre-built dashboards, so it's going to make it easy for you as well. And again, I'm going to just keep saying the same stuff. I've looked at every single one, I promise you that. So a little bit about Databox as well. They're located in Boston. They're sort of a focus on the ease of use and reporting automation. Again, it was the best designed reporting that I could find so that it looked really, really good. You can do calculated metrics like I mentioned before, so you can take a Google Analytics number and bring it by your CRM and then divide them, or do any sort of metrics, plus, minus, times, or divide any across them all. So you can set goals and it will alert you, and I think it's just basically awesome. So what I'm going to do today to make it a little bit easier, just for some context, is I've created SuperEpic software. So SuperEpic software is a made-up company that I've done. Here, they basically have a marketing manager that's working across most of the channels just to drive some leads. He needs to report to the management team every month, and he spends a solid 5 hours of data review and reporting every single month. And they're usually unsure whether they're going to hit their goals, even if they're sort of looking at it every single week. So this is kind of the pain point, and I'm trying to mask possibly what your pain points might be, but I thought I'd just make this Mortal Kombat SuperEpic software fake company just to sort of give some context. So I think one of the biggest questions you're probably going to ask is, am I going to try and sell you some software in this webinar? Like, absolutely not. This is not the intention to do it at all. The good thing about it is that this is actually free software. So you can go ahead and go up for the free one. You can connect up to 3 data sources, have 3 users, use 3 data boards, and it basically refreshes the data daily. And you can kind of get all of that goal tracking and alerts and things like that I sort of mentioned. If you're a larger organization and you want to have more data boards or anything on that matter, you might need to scale up. But I think it's really good if you aren't, or you're looking to do your reporting a little bit better, you can go ahead and just sign up for the free account. That's how I started, and it was like a gateway drug. It sort of brought me through to the business side. Liv's popped up a CTA there, so that's the data box. If you kind of just want to click on that, save it in your bookmark, or just keep it on a tab while you're listening to me rant and ramble about this stuff. Yeah, I'm not trying to sell you any software. It's completely free to use, and it's made our life a whole lot easier. Okay. Let's go to the next one. So what does it look like? So this is just an example. This is one of the out-of-the-box dashboards that you can get. This one here is specifically about Google Analytics. So you can see here, you're looking at sessions by source, sessions by location, mobile traffic quality, sessions by mobile device, any of that sort of stuff. This one here, essentially, is just straight out of the box. I'll go into the design a little bit better. You can change the colors and the backgrounds, and you can move the modules all around and things like that. But I kind of just wanted to show you a little bit about how it looks. And this is like on our dashboards up here. It looks exactly the same. So the question is what you can connect. Like, do I need to be a developer to truly understand how to use this? So the next slide, I'm going to sort of take you through like what everything is out of the box, which is pretty much most of the regular stuff that people are using. So here's a bit of a slide on what is able to be used. So you'll see here a lot of social channels. You'll see here a lot of CRMs as well. There's Google Search Console, Google Analytics as well. You've got Xero down the bottom there as well, so you can connect up Xero. And again, this is for free. You can connect it up and you can start pulling financial data and give it to you live on a dashboard. So you can see your revenue, your profit, any of that expenses. There's a lot of really good, if I am saying from Xero, there are really good pre-built dashboards that you can do, that you can build and be able to sort of just, without having to log into Xero and then go to the reporting or speak to your bookkeeper. I think my bookkeeper's on today. Hi, Sarah. But you can basically have it ready to go. They're all the available ones that are completely out of the box. So one click, you're good to go, and it will start pulling data. You'll see down the very bottom, you'll see Zapier. For those that aren't familiar with Zapier, Zapier basically will connect one data source to another. You'll say, hey, please connect to this program. And then once somebody does something, then send it to here. You can use Zapier if there is a logo there that a software program that you're using that's not there, that pretty much might be able to connect with Zapier without any development experience. But that being said as well, they do have an API capability, so you can build an API and then for it to automatically come across. APIs, if you're not development savvy, I wouldn't worry about it. But if it is something super important, get in touch and we can definitely point you in the right direction. All right, so the biggest thing that I have learned, hey Sarah, the biggest thing before you start any of this stuff, and this is from personal experience, is always plan out reporting metrics before you start. The only reason is that you will get so overwhelmed with all of the widgets and all of the data that you can do and all of the different things that you can report on, the different goals that you can have. Once you get into this platform, it gets really overwhelming, and you kind of, if you're anything like me, you'll spend hours in it and you'll be like, oh, this is cool, this is cool. If I had my time again, and this was like, 3 years ago, I spent countless hours building dashboards that just don't matter. For us to have the mobile sessions on Google Analytics and have that there and just go, oh, it's good to know. It's not a goal that's like super important to us right at the moment. So one piece of advice I'll always say is that before you kind of get started, even if it's not with this platform, always sort of, even if it's a pen and paper or whatever, sit down and go, all right, what are the goals of the business that we've got here? Let's just write out what stuff I need to know. Or if you've got different stakeholders, then pull it into, all right, the CEO needs to know this weekly. The marketing managers or the marketing people need to know this, finance needs to know this, and just get really clear on that, because what will happen, and you'll probably see, is that once you're in there, you're like, oh, there's 600 different metrics I can do. Oh, it'd be good to know that. And then all of a sudden, you're just wasting a lot of time. So I will say that before you kind of kick on, just get really clear on, what you want to see before you start, because you'll waste a lot of time like I did. So let's take a quick look at the platform. I've gone ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing here. There we go. Minimize that one. Before I get into the platform, is there any questions that anyone has or anything that I might have missed? I understand it takes a bit of time to type. Anything at all, just in the chat pane on this side as well. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I am going to share my screen on the Databox platform. Okay. So if anyone can't see this, or if there's any issues with quality, just give me a reach out and let me know. So this is the sort of the home screen. You can see here that I've pre-built this for SuperEpic software. And what we've done is I've gone ahead and connected some of our data sources up just sort of as a bit of an example. You'll see here that these dashboards here have been pre-built, and these can be moved around however you need be. Though down the left-hand side is kind of like where the navigation is. So you'll see here the dashboards area, you'll see goals, you'll see the data manager, and you'll see notifications. So dashboards is kind of what you can see here. So you can click into it. And what that is piping information directly from Google Analytics. This is the Google Analytics one I've done. I don't need to do anything. It's doing it all itself. I have made the ability for us to change the data source so that I can see last week or week to date if need be. But this is a data source that's pulling. So I'm not having to literally do anything. It's just pulling all of the data as we see fit here. I've built a LinkedIn one that you can sort of see. So a lot of some pre-built ones that we've got for LinkedIn, impressions, clicks, page engagements, follower growth, and things like that. So I'm not going to go on with all of them, but you can sort of see that I've created a YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, one for our CRM as well. And the one that I'm going to talk about a little bit later on is this sort of sales reporting, which is a bit of a customized one. So I'll go into that in a little bit. Down the left-hand side here, you'll see goals. So you can see here that I've set up some goals. The goal here, these are just dummy goals, by the way. The Facebook page goal here is 200 likes, 200 likes per month. You can see that we're at 6% of that. Website traffic, what we're looking at is for 3,500, and we're currently at 2,400, so we're 4% down. Tweets, we've got to send some more tweets out, guys. Our goal's 30 for every month, but we're at 16. So you can kind of see that there's some goals here, and I'll talk to you about notifications and things like that a little bit later on. Next is the data manager, and this is where we connect up all of the data sources. So you can see here that we've got, HubSpot, Google Ads, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And then down here, we've got notifications. So notifications is going to allow us, and I'll talk on this a little bit more, allow us to notify us or send reporting based on specific times, or create alerts if we're not going to hit our goal, or create alerts if we are going to hit our goal. So it's pretty cool. And you can set those alerts as well to send to certain people. So if you've got a head of sales and it doesn't look like that they're going to hit their goal, we can basically put a notifier in there for that sort of stakeholder there as well. So that there is a bit of a look at the platform from what we can see here. Move to the next slide. So cool. So what the next, I'm going to try and figure out how to use this thing here. All right. We'll come back here. So, so what I wanted to do first and foremost, and sort of, take my own advice here as well, as this let's just sort of plan out the metrics that the SuperEpic software kind of wants to see. So, that we know that they've got a website and they're looking for about 4,000 visits per month. They've got Facebook, they want 20 leads, and also YouTube views, they want 300. So what I kind of wanted to show you now is just out of the box how to do it and how easy it is to use. Probably should not keep switching, but I'm going to keep doing it. Here we go. Cool. So the first one was the website. So I'll just show you quite easily how that's done. So at the very top here, we'll click on the data board. And then there's two ways we can do it. We can use the wizard, which is all of the stuff that out of the box, and then you can start a blank. So in this instance, I'm going to use the wizard. Caitlin, you just asked the question, does the platform look the same regardless of the subscription package? Yes, it does. There's certain limitations on what you can and can't do. After I've done this, I might go back to the pricing page just to show you exactly what everything, what the pricing and limitations are. Usually it comes down to the amount of connectors and the amount of dashboards that you can have. So with the free account, you can connect up to 3 connectors. So you can see here that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In a free account, you might be able to include Google Analytics, maybe HubSpot, and maybe Facebook. And then you'll be able to have 3 different dashboards. You can customize it all how you want, but it's usually limited by the dashboards. And I think that there's some other limitations when it comes to, different types. But we'll go back into that anyway. But that was a really good question. In this instance, going back to what I was talking about was the website. So what I'm going to do here, if it's not connected already, it's not going to be at the top here. It'll be down here somewhere. But I'm going to click on Google Analytics and click on Continue. It's going to ask me to select the metrics or start from a template. In this instance, we're going to start from a template. And this is kind of where it starts to get pretty cool. So heaps of different agencies and people across the globe can go ahead and pre-make templates that you want to use, and then they can put them up here and you can use them. There are a lot of different combinations out there, and it's probably down to what's more important to you. So, we can have a look at this preview here, and we can see that, we've got users and sessions and bounce rates and top sources, etc. But this one here might be a little bit different, and we might have different loads, transactions, and revenue. This is all through GA, by the way. E-commerce conversion rates and things like that. If you've got enhanced Google Analytics, this would work perfectly for you guys as well. So spend a bit of time to go through. Again, you can manually make these if you wish, but I'd heavily suggest sort of going ahead and having a look through, this big list of templates that you can use to see what's relevant for you. But they all look really good. And just one thing as well to note is that don't worry about the colors or anything like that. That's all editable. It's more so about the data set and how it's sort of laid out. In this instance, I'm just going to use the top one here, and I'm going to click on Use Template. Because we've connected up our Google Analytics, we're just going to click on Google Analytics, and then it does its little dancing. And yesterday it was spinning for 5 minutes, so I'm very happy that it's not doing that today. So bang, straight up, it's basically pulled up all of that data, and it's pulling that data straight from Google Analytics now. So we can see from the month to date, we've got 2004 users, so that's up 4% from last month. The sessions as well, we can see 2,493, and that looks like it's down 3% from last month. The really cool thing you can do up here as well, and this is just for viewing on your desktop, you can click on the drop down here, and we can see some dates as well. So that's going to query Google Analytics. So we can go through and we can have a look at, last month, and it's going to give us our last month data, which is really good. Just be mindful, if you X out of it and come back, it's going to revert back to that original one that you had. So this is just for reviewing in your own time. So, what we want to do here, one of the questions probably, well, how do I put them in our colors? At the top here, we can see that there's a color palette. SuperEpic Softwares is a dark one here as well. So we can see here, we can change the color schemes and, change how it looks altogether. There's visual settings up here, so you can put a background image or add your company logo if you need to, and change the themes as well. So, and that's, I won't go into custom building them just yet, but for the example of finding out the website side of things, it's as simple as that. You'll notice that when you're in here as well, you can sort of pick up these little guys here and move them around if you want users on the right or the left. And you can sort of, if you don't want goal completions, you can just bin that as well. And that's sort of empty there as well. One really cool thing I did find not long ago is that on the left-hand side here, you can add visualization types. If you click the image one, you can actually go ahead and upload your logo there. So if you are going to be putting them on a screen, then you'll have the ability to do that as well. So straight out of the box, that's how you connect it. If we have a look at the other metric, it was Facebook and leads. I'll just follow that same process again. So if we go use wizard, if we go to Facebook, go continue, and then we browse from the template, we'll have a bunch of, not as many, probably because there's less metrics as well. But we can see here that there's a bunch of different Facebook pre-made templates that we can see. Now you'll see down at the bottom here as well that there's little logos. These little logos here are saying that this can be used, and this template has been built with these data points. So just be mindful, you'll have to, if you don't have it connected, it will say, can you please connect these data points up for us now? So in this instance, sometimes as well, if we use this template and connect our Facebook page, hope it doesn't take 5 minutes this time. Nice, better internet connection. You'll see the layout, so you can see page visits, page summary, engagement, clicks, total page likes, unlikes. You can do breakdowns of male and female. So this is straight out of the box. You'll see up here as well, some of the templates give you some tips as well. So this one is a Databox one, so it will sort of show you how to do it or give you some tips on how to best do it as well. So I've gone ahead and I've pre-built this just for the sake of this presentation. I've pre-built these ones already. So a question, I think, I'm not going to go back to my slides because it's going to take too long, is, so how do we automate this? So, okay, cool. We've basically got something out of the box that we really, really like, and we're happy with that. But when we talk about this automating, what does that mean and how do you do it? So say, for example, we're looking at our Google Analytics for this one here. So we've got our Google Analytics and say we've got a development team, or we want to send it to the marketing manager just to sort of get a bit of a snapshot. There's a few ways and there's a few things that we can do. If we click up on the share button here, so we've got this little area here. So there's a few different ways that we can do this. First of all, we're able to send this as a shareable link. So this is kind of what we do in some instances for our clients, is that we have that link and we can send them that link. And what that's going to do is just open up a web page and show them that board and only that board. But there's also an ability for us to schedule a snapshot. So we're able to send an email to whoever it might be. So say we're marketing manager at SuperEpic Software, and we want to send it to him every week on Monday at 9 o'clock. And we want to say GA reporting for last week. and then put a personalized message and then have a shareable link, and you can schedule that out. For those that are actually using Slack as well, you're able to click on the Slack button and it can pop through on Slack and notify. It will send through some metrics and it'll also send through a bit of a photo as well. So if you are using Slack, that's pretty cool. Makes it a little bit easier. If you've got an internal intranet, you have the ability to embed that as well. So you can basically put that onto a web page. Stream to TV. This is completely new. I've never seen this before. It must have come out overnight, but it looks like you'll be able to connect it with your Android TV as well, straight up. But I will show you how to do that outside that. And then you've got user access as well. Who can access it that's inside HubSpot as well. Before I move on, one of the questions that you might say is, well, some of my data is really, really, really important. I don't want a link. Say, for example, if somebody manages to come across that link and it's a financial data, like what's going to happen? Does that mean that they can see the data? Well, there is the revoke token, so you can refresh that link. But down here, you can do password protect. So you can set, so if it's financial information that's quite sensitive, you can set a password and say, hey, CFO, in order to access this page, this is the password. You can also limit by IP address. So for example, if you're working in a corporation and you just want that IP address, it's not going to open up unless it's from that IP address. One really cool thing while we're in here as well is this loop dashboards area. So the loop dashboards area is much like what we have on our dashboards up in our office. So what we're able to do if we click this is we're able to click on all of the different dashboards that we've got and add them to that. That means that when we copy this link and share it, what I'll do is I'll just do it for this instance. Now we've looped that, remember, and it's going to loop every 60 seconds. When they open up the link, if it opens, so what we can see here is that we've got these little dots down here. So it's going to loop every 60 seconds. So perfect for a dashboard, if you will. So if you want to send that link and have a bunch of different reports, say, for example, if it's the operations manager, finance, and a bunch of other stuff, you can just loop them into one sort of URL and send that off to them. But essentially, this would be, if you had this on your TV, this would be sort of scrolling every 60 seconds. So that's the ability for it to automate. So in my instance as well, I personally get sent a financial report at the end of the month from our financial dashboard. And I know the guys internally get some stuff. For our clients specifically, I know that we send the report, the dashboard reporting out to them every month. And we're able to pretty much negate, not in every way, shape or form, but we're pretty much able to negate a good portion of the time that it takes for us to go ahead and do that reporting. So that's the ability to do that. The next thing I've got to talk about today, done that one. So, okay, so the next thing I kind of want to sort of touch on is the goals. So I did mention early on in the piece that the goals are super important before you start. Now, I haven't really touched too much on goals here at the moment, but it's really important that your team or relevant internal stakeholders get notified if they are or are not going to. So if they're not, then potentially pivoting the strategy or telling the sales team to hurry up. But if they are, and it does look like that you're going to hit those goals, then making sure that, you know, the sales manager or, you know, financial goal, if you're going to hit that, then potentially should we do a stretch goal. So right now I'm going to sort of take you through how to set up these goals. We are at 49 minutes, so we've got 10 minutes left on the rocket clock. Now, on the left-hand side, there's two ways to do this. So the first way is we can go up to the side here and click on goals, and we can set our goals by going up to the right here and clicking on new goal. I kind of don't like it, only because it's hard to sort of understand what's going on. Not for me, it's just more so for me. So we can set the goals up here, no problems. And this is just a little hack, what I like, what I want to do is if I use this sales reporting one that I've pre-built for us here, is like this is the stuff that I want to know about. So this is just a dummy sales reporting board that I've custom built myself. Probably didn't take too long because all the metrics were there. But I really kind of want to know if this stuff is going to happen from a goal perspective because it's important to me. So here's a little hack if you are going to jump into this a little bit. I would, if I was you, if say for example, the revenue, the budget here is $750,000. We can click on this little data widget here, and on the right-hand side here, we'll see, obviously what the data source is. We'll see the metric that it's, and also the month to date. But what you can sort of see down here is this no goal has been set up. So what I'm going to do is if I just click on that goal there, it takes me back to this screen. So it's a little bit more relevant to what I'm doing. And it also automatically connects up kind of like all of these points. So it's a lot easier for me. So this was a finance goal in the middle for the budget. And I remember that the budget for us was going to be $750,000. And that's going to be the goal monthly for what we want to hit. Now, this is the goal title. So this is going to be the monthly revenue goal. Did I spell that right? Yeah, spell that right. Nice one. And if there's a specific goal owner, so if there's somebody in Databox that it's important to, the salesperson, myself, or CEO, or just the bookkeeper, whoever that might be, you can set the goal owner for exactly who that is. So this is kind of where it gets kind of cool, right? So it will notify you when you've hit your goal, or my goal probably won't be hit after 70% of the time. So these are really important. So I can sit here and click on save. And what we can see here is that my goal value has been placed here. And you can see now that the metrics changed to the goal. That's also put a bit of a stretch goal in there to 950 as well. So that's in there. So what that's going to do every single month now is that if I hit my goal at 750, like at any point, it's going to notify me saying, congratulations, Trav, you just hit your goal at 750. But if at 70% of the market doesn't look like it's going to go that way, it's going to notify you. So that would be in week 3 of the month. If you've set up a monthly goal, in week 3, it's going to say, based on the projections of the data that we're seeing, you're not going to hit your goal. So I prefer to kind of do it in here because it's, you can kind of see it, and it sort of changes the widgets in the dashboard as you go through. So you can go through and set goals for each and individual one of these if you need be. So I thought I'd share that with you and just that little hack around, just because it's a lot easier for me as well. One thing I kind of do want to touch on as well is, if I go to notifications here, is 2 things. Well, 2 things is the scorecards and schedule snapshots. So if I look at a scorecard, so I usually set these up for sales managers. So a scorecard essentially in the morning will send you an email and say, these are the metrics and this is what happened yesterday. You can sort of have them send daily, weekly, monthly, or however, but it's almost just like a really quick snapshot. If you're on the go, if you're a rep or whatever, it will send it to you and it will say, in this instance, 35 leads were gathered yesterday. You've got $2,500 in the pipeline as of yesterday. You've got 7,822 people that visited your site as of yesterday. So it will basically just give you a super quick snapshot into exactly what's going on day by day or week by week. So it's so that you don't have to always go back to the dashboards and keep checking it out. I highly recommend this, especially from sales, and also if you're a marketing manager, be able to sort of put the top line metrics that super matter. It really helps from a marketing point of view, Facebook ads, Google ads, leads, marketing qualified leads, sales qualified leads, opportunities, deals won, revenue closed daily or revenue closed weekly. It will just give it to you straight away without having to dig into a little bit more. Scheduled snapshots as well is really good. So it's just going to send a JPEG to your email address on the relevant day. So, if you don't want to keep logging into it, or you're trying to get your CEO or you're trying to get your general manager or anything like that, they're not logging in, you can basically just set them up and it's going to send them a JPEG to their email address and they can just view that data screen without doing it. So that's pretty cool. And then the alerts, we spoke about the alerts as well. So once we set up the goals, it's automatically going to set up the alerts and notify us when that happens as well. Cool. I'm going to get into how to put them onto your walls with your screens on your wall if you want to do that. But before I move on, is there anything that I probably rushed through that a little bit, but is there anything that wasn't covered that you guys probably would like to see covered, or any questions at all? No. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I'm going to move into, but how do you make them show on the screen? So these are our ones. These are our 4 dashboards that we've got in the office, and we've basically put them through on a scrolling area. So we get a lot of questions is, how do you do that? So the first one is, what do you need? So the first one is, Andy, I'll answer that in 2 seconds. So first of all is a Google Chromecast. So you can get a Google Chromecast from Officeworks, $50. Literally, I think you can order it the same day and they'll deliver it the same day. Use a Chrome web browser, and just a TV. In my instance, I've found on Kogan they're ridiculously cheap. It's $300 for a TV. Go buy it and throw it on the wall. That's all you need for this instance. So in order for, I'm going to go back the other way, sorry. So in order for this to happen, you'd plug the Google Chromecast into the back of the TV, and then up the top here, you'll have the URL. We just open up a few tabs. We put the URL of that data screen, and then what we do is we'll go up to these 3 little dots, and you'll click on cast, and that will cast it to the TV screen. And then what we do is we just minimize that, that browser, and it just sits at the bottom all day. So it's actually a lot easier than you think, but I am going to pop up a CTA now. If you guys, here is a CTA here. If you have any trouble with the whole setup side of things, just book a time or give us a call. It's super easy. I can sort of talk you through it, and it'd be a whole lot easier if you're sort of struggling to try and connect it. So that is a link there if you need to click it. A question I had from a guy called Andy was, how does it pull from Google Sheets? So that's a really good question. So you're able to sort of set up a sheet, and then you're able to select the different types of cells and the data that it will show on that platform from those cells specifically. There is a thing in here called calculated metrics, so you can actually times and minus a whole bunch of stuff together to show on that dashboard as well. So if you are using Google Analytics for reporting, you can actually pipe that reporting and put it onto the dashboard. Andy, if you want a little bit more detail about that, the CTA, to book a time to chat with me, I'm happy just to jump on the phone or on Zoom and help you out and just sort of point you in the right direction as well. One thing as well is, don't forget the iPhone and weirdly the iWatch app. I don't know why you'd want reporting on your on your watch, but here we are. And also the iPhone app. The iPhone app is really beautiful to look at, and you'll do push notifications as well. So all of that stuff, if you're not going to hit it, if you are going to hit it, if you love data, I download the app. It's free and it's good. So I'm just being mindful that we've kind of got 2 minutes on the rocket clock. I kind of just wanted to see if there was any questions. I know that was probably a lot to go through in such a short period of time, but it was just a general overview. I didn't really go into too much about the widgets, and you can change the widgets and the data sets and the times and things like that. But I was keen to hear if anybody did have any questions around it all. Of course, the meeting link's there if you do get stuck, or you can just email us here at tw@nbh.co. That being said, shameless plug as well. Next, in 28 days, we've got another webinar using social media to drive business growth. So if you are interested, please sign up. The link is right there, and we'll get you started there. But hopefully I've kind of helped you out a little bit today on the reporting front. Don't be too overwhelmed by it. It's really quite easy. Just sign up for a free account, get started, have a play, connect a few about. If you do get stuck, always reach out. We're always here to help out. But hopefully you guys have got some value from that today. So I'd like to thank you for coming and attending, and hopefully I've helped you guys out. And make sure we see you around for the next webinar. But thanks again for sticking around. Cheers, bye.